Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming to my presentation for PSY2500, reviewing the research articles in the research paper we got to write this semester. Let's begin. The researchers I had were R. Douglas Greer and Richard Saunders. Richard Saunders, in our first set of articles, we talked about species-specific calls that evoke asymmetric activity in the monkey's temporal orbs. Now, what in the heck does that mean? The overall article concluded that the neural activity that is created through auditory processing of vocalization, essentially the voices we make and the sounds we make in the auditory processing field, are similar to humans through this experiment with monkeys. Now, R. Douglas Greer created a similar thing about the integrations of speaker and listener responses, a theory of verbal development. Essentially, he studied children with verbal impairments and dictated that children who were missing certain capabilities that led to verbal impairments were a result of them mimicking the speaker and listener responses around them. And in order to conclude a better result, he had children mimic adults with better speech impediments. In the second set of articles, we observed that Richard Saunders did a non-equivalence of behavioral and mathematical equivalence behaviors. Essentially, he discussed how behavior is measured in contrast with mathematical equivalence, quantitative and qualitative research, essentially. R. Douglas Greer talked about what really selects behavior in the behavior selection process. In the third set of research articles, we talked about equivalence classes generated by sequence training. In this study, that Richard Saunders concluded that through sequence training, visual sequencing was much more effective than verbal sequencing for adults. R. Douglas Greer observed that peer-to-peer influence in his article observed that peer-to-peer influence can create a more effective training method within children, that peers essentially are more effective in monitoring than adults. In this conclusion, the overall theme in all four sets research is the importance of development and the contrast of neural impact in each of those development milestones. Thank you so much for observing my presentation, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your semester.